So what we are going to do is strategic maps, and then you're going to do an exercise. So typically when I talk about a balanced scorecard with the strategy, what does it mean? When I say a balanced scorecard is a measurement tool. I'm sure all of you know what is a measurement tool. That means it will have certain dimensions on which you can measure. Correct? Now, a BSc framework, I'm sure everybody has heard of it, has 4 dimensions. Correct? What are those 4 dimensions? Financial dimension, customer dimension, internal process, and what we call it as organizational capacity, are actually the HR part or the L&D and technology, etc. So these are the 4 dimensions on which an organization can be measured. So typically, if the financial dimension has to be measured, how is it measured? So typically, when I say you want to measure the financial aspect, how do you typically measure? Anybody?
Profitability,
Revenue, EBITDA, profitability. So all these things which are hard numbers, right? That's how you measure. Supposing I want to measure the customer perspective, how do you measure? Customer is typically market share, number of products, number of old products, number of new products, new market shares, virgin areas. So it's all about the market. When I'm looking at an internal perspective, or what it is also called internal business processes, they encompass all the job functions in my organization which have processes like the production process, the supply chain process, the logistics, the sales and marketing, all these processes which actually work towards achieving the customer's goals, which in turn you achieve the financial goals. Yes. Now, when we talk about the learning and growth aspects, it is the human capital. It is the HR, which comprises of what? The kind of people you want to source, at what cost, what kind of competencies, with what kind of a culture, okay, and what kind of a technologies which go into it, so that you enable your business processes to function very well, which in turn will give you this. First, I'm just giving you a little information about the BSc, because some of you may know BSc and some of you may not know BSc. So the 2 dimensions which are financial and customer are typically called the lag indicators, and these 2 are called the lead indicators. Now, as an HR person, you may be wondering, hey, why should I know all this, right? More. So when we talk about strategy in the context of a balanced scorecard, okay, then what happened? There was this person, Sima and Tracy, who came up with what is very, very important is called value discipline. I don't know how many of you heard of value discipline. To create that differentiation and also value addition. So it will be very interesting to know this value discipline. What is it? It's called, there are 3 value disciplines. That means they could, the product leadership, organizational operational excellence, and customer intimacy. Now, what are the 3 called? These 3 are value disciplines. Now, you may say, what are these value disciplines? Every organization, like for example, an Indigo, it says, hey, I'm delivering certain value to the customer. Okay? I'm delivering certain value to the customer. Now, I as an organization, I can deliver value to the customer from operational excellence point of view, or it could be from a product leadership point of view, or it could be from a customer point of view. Okay, there are three types of organizations. Now, before I give you a little background, say for example, McDonald's. Which value discipline do you think it caters to? It gives what kind of value to the customer? Why do I go to McDonald's?
I guess product, because it's standard.
Organization, operational excellence.
Because it is cheap, it is reasonably good, huh? Okay, and what? Available easily, right? So just look at this. So when we look at McDonald's, or it could be even Amazon, it could be Walmart, it could be IKEA. Why do we go to these companies? Because they cater to the customers who are looking for reliable product, not very expensive. Okay. Then low cost, very convenient. And so therefore, what becomes a very, very key in this nature of organizations? Tell me, if you have to give a product at a much reasonable cost and at a much, lowest cost price, but reliable product, what should be the key? What do you think they will be doing? What will be their focus?
Operational efficiency.
Operational efficiency
Yes.
and
So
controlling.
operational efficiency means, say, for example, Amazon or a Walmart. So do you think logistics becomes very, very critical for them? So distribution and also supply management or sourcing. Does sourcing become very, very, do you know this Walmart, what do? They buy up big, big suppliers and then pass on that discounts to the end customer. That's how they are actually able to give at a much lesser cost. You agree? So when you are in an operational excellence company, value discipline, what are some of the things these organizations will need to do, are required to do? Or what will be their business goals? Productivity, right? Increase of productivity. So they'll be benchmarking themselves with mostly productivity indexes, comparing themselves, right? Then wastage management. If they waste more, what will happen? Cost will go up. You agree? Cost will go up. Then what about sourcing of material? They will have to source material at a lesser cost. So therefore, do you think supply management, logistics and supply management becomes very, very critical? They can't be spending. So their warehouses also will be very close by, right? Their inventory management. So focus on sourcing, supply management, all this becomes very, very critical. Now, having said this, when you are at an operational excellence company, so what kind of people do you think they will take? Will they pay very high salaries or will they pay very low I'm saying, average salaries?
So, ma'am, it depends. They have categories. I'm being from logistic industry. So they have separate pool of talent people. Then they, at the second level, they hire average people. And then we have a, pool of for frontline people. So our majority are in frontline. So, yeah.
Absolutely. So 5 to 10% of this critical positions for which logistics becomes very critical, they want best of talent. You agree?
Yes, ma'am.
But 80% maybe on an average salaries, because they can't afford to pay very high salaries, because they don't want high creativity innovation. Rather, they want their process to be SOP, standard operating processes with very little, innovation while you are actually doing the process. Are you getting me? Huh? How organizations are differentiating themselves to add value addition or to create value for their customers. Now, say, for example, in product leadership, I will give you can you give me an example in a product leadership company? Tell me what kind of companies, if the attributes are best product, then product innovation, okay? And the features will be always be innovated, and where the research and development becomes really a dominant part. What
It-
kind of companies do you think you can think
Mobile.
of?
These days,
Toyota.
smartphones, mobiles.
Hindustan Liver is also one.
FMCG, okay. Then what else?
Pharma.
Toyota car manufacturing.
Think of Google, a very good example, Google.
Google.
It keeps on innovating. Think of, have you known a company called 3M?
Yeah.
Do you know this 3M which makes a Post-it, Scotch-Brite?
Post-it, Scotch-Brite, and
Yeah. In
they even
fact,
created the first memory foam.
what they do is whenever, to live that innovation and creativity as their value, they will actually cannibalize their own product. What does it mean? That they will remove all those, products which are gone maybe 5 years. They will think, okay, product shelf should be only 5 years. They'll withdraw. Because if you are keeping the old products, then the new products will not be sold. So to help them with the creativity innovation, you will not find. Again, if you look at Apple also, if a new phone has come, Apple 11 and Apple 12, the old phones parts you will never get. So their focus is constantly what to be the best, to come out with the best features, which can't be imitated. And there's a price to it. Obviously, they are expensive. So they attract those customers who really want to pay that kind of a money and buy those kind of products. So these are called product leadership. Okay. So what is customer intimacy? So they came up with 3 value disciplines. Customer intimacy is what? These are companies which wanting to understand the customer's needs and totally customizing solutions for the customer. Can you think of a company who is into customer intimacy? Dell. What does Dell say? Anybody? Says you come to my site, you can choose, you can customize, right? You can customize. So such companies will have to be very strong in what? CRM? Because they have to understand the needs of the customer. Okay. Now, why did we talk about these 3 companies? Now, when the companies are actually positioning themselves and they are saying that, yes, this is what the customer value addition we are giving, or this is where is our value proposition. Now, how do they fulfill that value proposition? Because it's ultimately people who have to fulfill it, right? So therefore, we are trying to establish now understanding what is the business, what are their outcomes, where are they positioning, what is the customer's needs, and how does then HR add value and ensure we are establishing a link between the HR and the business outcomes, so that whatever data we collect, then we are able to establish the correlation, establish the relationship, so that establish what? So that we are able to make an impact on the business outcomes. Okay. So having said this, now let's go back to, so this is how I was talking about trying to create a value creation. How does the HR create value? Okay. So when you're talking about, so supposing revenue is your financial dimension, customer dimension, okay, then how do you actually then deliver value to the customer? By ensuring that you are having quality processes. And how do you deliver those quality processes? By ensuring that the right kind of competencies are there, the right training is given, the right technology is given. So that's how this becomes your leading indicator, and this is your lag indicator. Okay. Now let us actually get into a framework to understand this entire strategic map. Okay. Yeah. So just to give you a little insight into, I'm taking an example of an indigo. Okay. Are you all there, guys? A little, yeah. So what is Indigo promising to the customer? Anybody? It is promising, you can see, on-time
On-time
service.
service.
Time
And
service.
it is also promising what?
cost.
At a
Lowest
Price.
low price. So this is what it's saying, the value to the customer. So typically, if I say in which value discipline is Indigo, having learned about the 3 value disciplines, which discipline do you think it is in Indigo is in?
Operational excellence.
Absolutely. Oh. Now, any organization cannot be good at all the value disciplines. Then it will be conflicting and it will not succeed. But that doesn't mean that you have to be very bad at 2 and be only good at 1. You have to be on an average. Like, for example, you have to have customer service. You cannot say, I will have, I'm only looking at operational excellence as my value discipline, and I'm not going to be anywhere with respect to product leadership and customer intimacy. You have to be on an average and be very, very good at one discipline. Only then you will really succeed. Now, let me actually give you this Indigo's example. For example, I'm saying I'm promising on-time service and lowest prices. So how do you think I can actually do on-time service? Anybody? Think about it. What is on-time? That means what? The carrier, air carrier has to come on time and take off on time. Is that so?
Yes, and the maintenance of the
So that-
carrier.
Yes.
That
The
means
maintenance
when a
of the-
carrier comes, it has to be deboarded. People have to be deboarded, their luggage has to be deboarded. Then again, people have to be onboarded, their luggage has to be onboarded. You agree? So what happens? That means also then very less time, that is maintenance. It has to also have what? Preventive. You should not have a breakdown, etc. So ensuring maintenance in the shortest time where it comes. So just promising on time means it takes into consideration so many business processes. You agree? Your
In
what
fact,
is it? Ground staff has to be trained in such a way. Yeah, Prashant, you're saying something?
Yeah, my personal experience is that even if Indigo flights, which are say coming from Delhi to Pune and then moving
Yeah.
to say Chennai, and I need to go to Chennai, the same flight runs from Delhi to Pune to Bangalore to Chennai maybe. So
Right, right.
even if the flight comes delayed, arrives late from Delhi to Pune, and I have to board here, it still departs on the right time. That is something that lead time or whatever you call it, they have managed it very beautifully with operational excellence.
Yeah.
They have tried to optimize their deboarding of luggage and onboarding, and all those things were so synchronized that you see a trailer coming in and then parking right away. Like an emergency hospital, department of the hospital where a patient comes and the 4 doctors jump in. Similarly,
Absolutely. Absolutely, you are
even
there.
if they're late, they're able to manage the next departure on time.
Absolutely. Now, what all does it require from the internal business processes? It requires a lot of logistics, maintenance, etc. Apart from that, now, in order to have that, what do you think from the HR, what we call it as learning and development and
True
technology?
efficiency.
Now, let me tell you guys, team building is a part of that culture. Now, I have seen actually when the plane has to take off and there are certain hiccups in terms of baggage, even the pilot will carry that baggage and put it. So, what are they doing? Teamwork from the HR. So, culture, right? Now, all the people are given a lot of training for what? Team building, how do you actually serve the customer? So training is given a key importance. Hiring the right kind of people is given a lot of importance. So therefore, what happens? Now you are able to translate this culture, this competency into ensuring that your internal processes running smoothly so that you can deliver on time. And of course, they are doing a lot of flight. Their flight planning is so good that they are able to actually ensure that there is fast ground turnaround time. And also no wastage of time anywhere, as Prashant was explaining, ensuring that the route planning is done very meticulously. Now, in short, to just help you understand what does it mean, that means there are objectives. What is that? What is one business objective? That is, you have to have more customers if you want to make more profit. Okay. Flight being on time and at a lesser price. To make all this happen, you need to have fast turnaround time on the ground. Then to have the fast turnaround time, again, you have to have all your crew in alignment. Onboarding crew, deboarding crew, your maintenance people, everything has to be done. Now, when all this has to be done, can we actually then collect data and put measures to it and then put targets to it and ensure that, whatever you have promised to the customer is achieved? Now, what are some of the, just look at measures. What kind of measures you think Indigo has? So, for example, measures. What are measures, especially for internal business processes? It's the on-ground time, on-time departure. Then once you have a measure, you also need to have a target saying that, hey, I want to achieve 90% of on time. Then what will be the ground time? You also want to put a target saying it should be 30 minutes or 50 minutes, 20 minutes, whatever, depending on the calculations. Okay. Then, so if this being the case, then what will be the measures for the HR? How many people are trained? What is the percentage of ground crew trained? What is the percentage of, people who are also other stakeholders who will be trained? So you will accordingly put targets. Now, this is just to show you that nothing happens here. These are all lag indicators. Means only when you translate the human capital, ensuring the right culture, right competencies, then you can translate them to having solid, robust internal business processes, which in turn will actually deliver what you have promised to the customer. Right? Yeah. Any questions here, guys? Because I'm now going to make you actually do a small strategic map. And first, after explaining what is the strategic map, okay? Any questions thus far? Any questions? None? It's all null. Or is it not understood at all? Prashant says yes. Anybody else? Couple of other people, guys? Huh?
No questions
Just
so
to,
far.
pardon?
No questions so far.
No questions. So just to reiterate, so that because when you do a strategic map, then you know exactly what you're going to do. Right? So every organization has a strategy, right? Now, every organization has a strategy with a mission vision. Now, the way it gets cascaded is this way. So, mission is typically why we exist. And values are what we believe in. What are some of the values you can actually think about? Say, for example, the Tatas, what could be their value? What is the
Social
value of
growth.
your organization you are working for? Because value creates the culture, right? Supposing I'm saying, hey, I value customer service in Indigo. So what would they do? They will value what? What will be one of their values? Respect for customers, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So typically, vision is linked with strategy, because unless where you want to be, what you want to be, then you create a game plan to achieve that vision. Now, there comes the balance scorecard, which gives you the measurement focus, which we talked about in 4 dimensions, that gets cascaded down into all the strategic business objectives for the various functions. So just having said that, I want you all to quickly do a small exercise. Now, what is that exercise? Okay. I want you all to think. You'll be into 4 groups, I want you to think of any business. Okay. Your business could be a small bookstore, it could be a food, it could be a retail chain, etc. But first and the foremost thing, what is important is you have to think of in which area, in which value discipline you want to operate. Is it into operational excellence, customer intimacy, or product leadership? Okay, because if you are into operational excellence, then your focus will be different. If you are into your customer intimacy, your focus will be different. And if you are into product leadership, your focus will be different. For example, if you are into a food restaurant, so if I am into a food business, if I am into this operational excellence value discipline, that means I want to offer at a less cost, good food, okay, and with no frills attached. It could be, something like fine dining, etc. Okay. But if I'm into a very niche, specialized Chinese kind of a restaurant, which, caters to really exotic stuff, that means what? You are into a product. You are, you want to invent, you want to create. So first, decide on which value discipline are you going to be. Okay. You can create a map like this. You just don't have to bother about this dimension. Just write here, which discipline are you? What customer value proposition you have to write here? That is product or operational or whatever. Now, having said that, at what kind of attributes are you going to give? High price, quality? Will you have a lot of selection? Okay. What kind of a service? So you can pick up, I'm going to put this on the, screen. You can choose certain attributes, what you want to give to the customer. Having said that, in order to give these, provide these, what kind of internal business processes are you going to look at? That's it. Very small exercise. Then we will look at the HR part. What is it? You have to think of a business. That business could be anything. It could be a food business, a retail chain, or anything. But you have to decide on what is your customer value proposition. Okay, is it into operational excellence? Is it into product leadership? Or is it into customer intimacy? Based on that, what are the kind of attributes which you want to give to the customer? Is it at a high price, low price, what quality, what kind of availability, what kind of selection? So if you are a retail chain, maybe wide selection, what kind of a features, function features. So you think about the product and write all the attributes. In order to give these things, what kind of processes will you look at? Will you focus on operations or customer or sales or innovation? Things like that. Only do these 2 steps. Forget about this and forget about this. Okay. And if you can't do an Excel like this, you can just put customer and write in an Excel sheet like this. You can just write internal business processes and write this. But I'm very particular about saying first write customer value proposition and write whether you are into which discipline, because based on that, then you will say, hey, these are the various things I want to give to the customer. Okay. And then because I want to give these things, I have to focus on these things. Got it? Okay. Just 2 steps. Then we will go to the next step. Okay. So guys, which group wants to present? There are 4 groups, right?
Group 1. Okay.
Group 1.
So me, Vimal, Snehallata, Nikita, Reena, we all were part of this group. And together we have come up to this. So business, we have taken a restaurant business. Quick Bites is the name, what we have kept.
So what are you serving? So you're serving
At low price,
at low price.
affordable food with good quality and service.
So affordable food, breakfast, lunch, dinner,
Yeah,
with good quality, reasonable price,
right.
and good quality and hygienic conditions, right?
Right. So
Okay.
discipline
Okay.
under operational excellence we have taken.
Right.
So under customer perspective, the attributes what we have added, looking to add is the lowest price, low price, I would say,
Price. Okay.
good service,
Good service.
good
Okay.
quality, and
Quality,
availability.
availability. Done. Okay.
And
So in order to I mean, give these services at, I mean, give good food at reasonable cost and with these kind of attributes. So what are the things you will be doing internally
Yeah, so the internal
across functions?
perspective,
Yeah.
it would be operation management process,
Okay.
under which we'll look about these SOPs, the standard operating
Operating
procedures
procedures. Okay. And
process.
all
Then
right.
to
SCM.
make food availability at low price, supply chain
Mhm.
management is one thing
Supply
what
chain
we'll look up.
management. Okay.
Then
Okay.
inventory management to make availability of the resources and the food for the
Okay.
people,
All
as we are
right.
getting to that. And
Okay.
and for sure, manpower resource under operation, efficient manpower resource would be a part
So
of
we'll
that.
come to that manpower. HR
Okay.
part will come to that. Okay.
Sure.
All right. Customer
SOP,
management
SCM and
processes.
inventory.
Okay.
And again, ma'am, we thought of that in customer management process also, we were just finding like SOPs again will be one of the part wherein efficiency and productivity will matter to cater to this wastage management and all, wherein we'll waste less and should be able to maintain the cost of the food, the prices. And
So
we
remember
have
one
written,
thing. Remember one thing. This group. Whatever you are saying that I'm going to promise certain thing to the customer. So you have to think, how am I going to deliver that? Right? So
right,
then you will have to look at internally in your organization, which function will cater to that. Okay.
right,
Yeah. Like, for example, low price, you rightly mentioned that I will be focusing on sourcing, supply chain management, because I will source at better, good
right,
prices so that I can keep my, products at a low price, right? Okay. And less usage of waste so that it can reduce. That also will then take care of my costs. Okay. All right. Okay. Good. So you have focused on your operation management process, especially SOPs and SCM, inventory management, and customer management processes. All right.
right.
Okay. Good job done. Yeah. Can I have the other group?
We thought of starting a business of recruitment agency where we will just source resumes and pass it on to the customers, and it would be in IT industry. So we would charge, say, some amount, a commission as 11% with taxes. That's all. We won't keep anybody on our payroll and outsource them to the companies as a vendor. So value.
What is it? Just yeah, recruitment agency.
Yeah, it just
Is a third party sourcing. Okay, right? If I've understood. So you are wanting to source, so you'll become a sourcing partner,
agency.
right?
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, like security guards are on a payroll of the agency and they are outsourced to the company. No, we will not do that. We'll
Okay, you'll only do the sourcing part.
sourcing part. Yeah. So
Okay.
our focus will be customer intimacy and a little bit on operational excellence. But as you said, ma'am, we can
But
only have only
major
one.
focus is customer intimacy. That means, as I understand, uh, what you want to deliver to your customer is that I will here is it, I will understand your needs, right? I will, take your needs, then ensure that the yield you get, because you're doing
Yes.
sourcing now, is of a highest order,
Yeah.
relevant and
Yes.
highest order, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Fine.
net promoter score should be 8 or 9 is our target, and that is the strategy theme that we should get repeat business. And the strategy map, how do you measure the metrics?
No. So we will come, yeah, if you can just push it down, we will come definitely to this, but you can keep it aside, okay? Just wanting to understand. So we are trying to create a strategic map, okay? What is a strategic map? That means connecting
Strategy to the
the
goals.
lag indicators with the leads, okay? And trying to create the cause and the effect relationship, okay? Now,
Yes.
having said that, this is what you have promised. What higher yield, very good resumes, and at a price, affordable price maybe. So quality means, wait, high quality. You already said no, 8 or 9, very high quality. Okay, and availability could be like I'm going to source for you in all functions or etc. Right? Huh?
Mhm.
Selection will be wide selection for you. Okay, so that means you're getting into consideration like wide demographics, wide ages, whatever your
Yeah.
needs be. So
Understanding the
you're
client's
putting
culture.
you're putting certain attributes or characteristics to whatever it is. So these are the things which you are promising to your customer.
Yeah. And our
Am
team
I
and culture of
getting
taking
you right?
ownership means.
Huh? Yeah. Am I getting
So,
you right?
yes, ma'am. So
Okay.
even if say uh, Manoj is not there, Prashant is not there, doesn't matter. The team, anybody from the client side reaches the team will
Yeah.
take the
So
ownership
that will
and they'll
become a
tell him.
part of the culture. I will come to that, but could you
Yeah.
just keep that in the
So the
back
only
end?
thing that I have put a little
No,
less
no,
is
no,
8
no,
out of 10. That is the
no, no,
sourcing
no, no, no.
index.
This I don't. It's too early to put 9 out of
Okay.
10. It is
Okay.
redundant here. So now what I want you to do, having said that, having written the attributes also, what? So just shift this also. What you have to write now. If I want to give quality resumes, availability,
Okay.
availability, selection, higher selection, choice. So you can write all those things. Then within the organization, uh, in what areas, like if I'm going to look at job families in my organizations, or if I'm going to look at processes in my organizations, which processes will entail or will make this happen, that you have to write there. Are you
Yeah.
getting me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that I've written training of people on sourcing resumes, how to source
No,
from the
training
databases.
of people will come next in the last section where we will be doing now. That means in order to ensure that there is reliability, there is higher selection, etc. I will then hire people where they are also given training to understand the needs of the customers. So that will be the HR part.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Creation
So
of
that we will come to it. And then we will
creation
create
of
some
interview
analytics
evaluation
around it.
sheet,
Huh. Creation of
uh,
interview evaluation sheets. Okay, this
CDI.
can be a process, yeah,
Yeah.
of internal business processes. Okay,
Mhm.
training of people, yeah, understanding clients' culture, etc. Our team and culture take. See, our team and culture taking is more of culture building, etc., which will come later. So
Mhm.
sourcing time, your TAT. So that will
Mhm.
be one vertical.
Okay.
Turnaround time, you already metricized it. Sourcing. Ability to understand rules. So you're going to put, it could be like your sourcing team could also be under like production team. You getting me? Huh?
Yes, ma'am. They are actually the
Okay.
production team. They are the
Yeah,
representation.
production team. Okay. So you will have only two because yours is only just sourcing, right? So you will have just two departments maybe. One is your production team, right?
Hmm.
The other could be your customer management team, no? Or
Huh.
your sales team. So there could be just two departments.
Hmm.
So your sales team is sales function will be understanding the client's needs, establishing a CRM, etc. Those things would be. So we are coming. What you have already written, we'll talk about it a little later, Prashant. Okay. Yeah, but so far, good work done. Let me actually come back to you again when I explain because I'll link up everything for you.
Okay.
Let me look at the other group. Okay.
Sure,
Can we
ma'am.
have the other group? Yeah. Can we have the other group, please?
We are group 4. We can share the screen if you want.
Yes, yes. This is Chaudhary. Furniture. Okay.
So, ma'am, we have talked about creating a furniture company, which will be mainly
Okay.
focusing on the product Or main.
So 1 second, we'll start with this. So furniture company. So we are starting with customer value proposition. So which discipline are you focusing now?
Ma'am, we are focusing on 3 aspects. One is the customization of the products. Second is quick delivery timelines, and third is the low cost.
And low cost. Okay, so you are actually taking 2 value discipline. One is customer intimacy and also operational excellence, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, those are the 2 value disciplines.
Right, ma'am.
Okay, okay.
So for doing that, we have decided that we will create separate product lines for the customized products. So we will not jump into all kinds of furniture. We will choose specific types of furnitures, and we'll focus more on do-it-yourself installation setup. And we will be selling through online mode only, and thus eliminating the middleman to achieve the lower cost.
So I'll just take one by one. You are saying customized products. You are promising the customer saying customized product. When can you customize product? Only when you get to know what are the customer's needs, right?
Right.
Huh?
Ma'am.
Now, how will you get to know the customer's needs? What is the process you are going to have in your internal business processes, which will help you to understand the customer's needs? Is it a CRM or is it? So you need to. Are you
That we have
seeing?
mentioned down. We have talked
CRM
about
support.
3D,
Okay.
3D modeling softwares. We
The
also talked about
customization model. Okay. Mhm.
real-time tracking and CRM
Okay.
support.
Okay, CRM support. Okay. Okay.
Based on these aspects, we have
Okay.
defined some
1 second. Now, yeah, I'm getting this. Now, let me talk to you about low cost. So you have promised low cost to the customer. So how are you going to deliver product at a low cost? What is that you will do with respect to your internal business processes?
Ma'am, first is we will remove the middleman. We will be selling directly online.
Okay.
So that is one way. Second is we will focus on the standardized product through do-it-yourself installation
Do it
set.
yourself installation setup. Okay. Okay.
Right.
That's one. That's one.
That will
Then,
reduce the wastage also. So
Mhm,
because
mhm.
of reduction in the wastage, we will be able to achieve better margins.
Okay, okay. All right. So don't come to L&D. I will speak about it. Right now, we'll only talk about customer value proposition. What is that you want to deliver to the customer? And how will you deliver that? Looking at the business processes. So yes, 2 or 3 business drivers you have shown me. So we will work on them. Like for example, do-it-yourself installation setup. Okay. Thereby you are eliminating the middleman and CRM support and separate product lines for customized products. Okay. And so where will you do your sourcing from? Procurement?
Procurement, we didn't focus much on that in our discussion.
Because there will be that also, no? Procurement
Right.
will be major, no? Low cost and products you have to get. That means your supply chain also has to be very strong. Huh?
Right.
Right. So that will become one, in fact, a major internal business process, no?
Right, ma'am.
Just as CRM support also, you will have to have that as well. Okay. And logistics, quick delivery, you said.
Right, ma'am.
That means you are going to deliver. So quick delivery. So that means you have to also take into consideration your logistics and distribution. No?
Ma'am, so in that, our standardized product lines will help us because it will take lesser time to prepare that kind of furniture as compared to the market.
Right.
Moreover, we will try to identify the channels or the logistic partners which are more efficient than others. So that
Like
also.
for example, I'll tell you Amazon's, what is its value statement? Anybody? Do you know what is their value statement? One of their values? Anything.
Something delivering at your doorstep kind of.
Anything, huh? Anything. You can think of a pin, you can think of anything. Anytime you can get up at the middle of the night at 12 o'clock, or you can get up at 2 o'clock and suddenly a thought came to your mind saying that I want this. Anything, anytime, anywhere. You can be anywhere, huh? It will reach you. So now the focus is so much on delivery, quick delivery like this. So you can think of their channel partners, distribution people, delivery partners, right? Huh?
Right, ma'am.
Because Amazon says anytime, anywhere, and in the shortest time. Sometimes you abhi order kiya and you're getting it right away in the evening. Huh? So then you can imagine quick delivery. So how their focus is on delivery partners. You know?
Right, ma'am.
Okay. All right, guys. Good work. Good work. Let us now keep this as a base. Yeah. Can I have the other group? You can give a good pat on your back. Good. Yeah.
So the business is basically a restaurant, maybe, and
Mm-hmm.
the name is Desi Delight. As the name suggests, we are propagating the Indian cuisine,
Right. Right.
the Desi
Mm.
cuisine, basically.
Mm.
And the value discipline would be the operational efficiency, customer
Good.
satisfaction, economical and health and hygiene. So
So
uh,
you are delivering
basically
food, Desi Delight
we are
food,
delivering
at,
food.
hygienic food
We are
at an
delivering
economical
food.
cost, reasonable
Yeah,
economical
but
cost, right?
but
Yeah.
but at a larger, but the larger aim is to uh, make aware people about the richness of Indian cuisine, and at
Mm-hmm.
the same
Mm-hmm.
time make them aware about the health and hygiene also. So
Yeah, not only
it's
aware
not
and
about
then ensure that yes, the focus is on more of health,
exactly,
wellness.
exactly,
Mm.
exactly, exactly. So the customer perspective which we have thought is that it would be fresh and economical. We would be serving the indigenous desi taste, wherein we will be trying to cater almost the whole of India, the best of all the states,
Okay. Okay.
and the focus would be on customer delight and satisfaction. And I shared during the breakout session with you that we would try to introduce something called customized cuisine, wherein
Mm-hmm.
the customers can select from the different available options, whether they
Mm-hmm.
want to go for maybe millets, maybe without food without onion or garlic, maybe you can go for
Okay.
a desi ghee
Okay.
sort of thing. Okay,
Okay. Variations.
uh,
All right. Mm-hmm.
ghee variations.
Okay.
Then internal perspective, it will be
So
more
to
of
deliver this to the customer, which is
G.
fresh, indigenous, focus on customer is one attribute. Okay, to deliver that product, so you have to focus internally on what kind of processes. Yeah.
G. So
Hmm.
what we are looking is that we would be going for local purchases from farmers. We won't
Okay.
be
Okay.
purchasing it from big shops.
So
So
sourcing,
this way,
sourcing,
yeah,
your
sourcing will
procurement.
be from, yeah, will be from the local farmers.
All right.
That would help us in getting the raw materials at a cheaper price, as well as we will be supporting the farmers as well. Then the
Okay.
procurement will be in bulk so that we get at cheaper price.
Okay.
Then we will be looking for discounts for frequent visitors and those who give us 5-star reviews.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. This is for
Then,
what? Branding?
yeah, this is for branding. This is for
Okay.
branding and attracting customers to visit again and again.
So sales and marketing.
So,
So this is your branding,
yeah,
part of a branding.
G.
Okay.
G. Then we would save manpower cost by allowing customers to go for self-serving. So
Okay.
then we would be trying to save money on extending less on interior designing and other incidental cost. Like I have mentioned, we have mentioned certain things. Use ambience should be created in such a way that we use the natural light available to us. We may use
Okay.
matka water
Okay.
in spite of a refrigerator or machine
Mhm.
waters,
Mhm.
and other desi ways to save money, like we can have food prepared on wood and charcoal, then to use the lpg or other fuel. So this way,
Okay.
just to give a different and distinct identity, at the same time cost reduction, and giving it all together a desi touch.
So overall, you are saying you're branding it like a desi. So for that, so you have various verticals. Like for example, in terms of your entire production process. So your production process is taking a desi style. Instead of gases, you are saying we will use charcoal and, we will use wood, the typical traditional ways of cooking, maybe on the site, in fact, you'll showcase them,
Yeah,
etc.
exactly.
So there are
Exactly. Exactly.
production, supply chain. So these are the various internal business processes we are focusing on so that you are able to deliver what you have actually promised to the customer. Is that so? Good job. Now we will actually metricize, or what we are going to do is now we are going to try to actually then create what? We are going to try to create measures and targets now so that we can metricize and ensure that what we do from the HR front is linked to what we promise, and therefore to increase in productivity and profit, etc. Okay. So just before you went for a break, what we were talking about, so we said we have to first of all understand business. So all of you uh, started a business, right? Now you have positioned yourself at a particular value discipline, stating that this is what I'm going to promise or deliver to the customer. Okay. Now, based on a certain value discipline, you have also arrived at what are the various characteristics or various attributes you want to have in your product or service in terms of price or in terms of quality or in terms of choices, that is selection, or in terms of availability, in terms of services, etc. Okay, till that part you are very clear, guys? Huh?
Yes.
At least give me a thumbs up, because we are all on a muted, so
Yes,
at
ma'am.
least
Yes.
no, at least a thumbs up will do. Yeah? Okay. Now, having said that, now, so how do we now convert these, objectives? So what are those business drivers I need to focus on to translate into whatever I have promised? So you will have to then look at all your internal business processes, which you have done. Some of you looked at the operations management, that is entire production processes. Then you looked at supply chain. Some looked at logistics, distribution, because reach has to be there. Some looked at the entire customer management processes so that you can enhance customer value. So these are the processes. I'll just give it. Now, this is what you will also have to do. Now, in order to do this, say for example, I'm just going back to the Indigo. Say, for example, here in operations, I'll say, hey, on time. What? All my flights have to be on time. Okay. Now, on time will be like, a kind of culture, right? I have to develop that culture that everybody should be on time. My team has to be on time. Voting team has to be on time. Everybody has to be on time. So I start training people in certain values. You agree? For example, you go to Starbucks, the person that's the front sales guy, when you ask for a coffee or when you ask for something, he'll say, would you like to have more of the hazel stuff, more of this? What? Essentially, they are focusing so much on customer management processes that this front salesperson is trained. Is trained in the product knowledge. He knows everything. What is maple syrup? Where does it come? What happens to it? He knows everything. Then what combinations? So knowledge of everything, product knowledge, all that. Then two, he is also given a book and also a training how to serve a customer, how to be hospitable, what is best customer service. So he is given all the training so that he is able to deliver. So that is culture. Have you heard of Walmart? Everybody, I'm sure, has heard of
Yes, ma'am.
Walmart, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
What
ma'am.
is it
Yes,
known
ma'am.
for? Good quality products at reasonable, affordable price. Now, how are they able to do that? Obviously, focusing on sourcing, waste management, etc. Do you know? I've actually seen when I was in US, in Walmart, every employee is given a book In fact, cost consciousness is driven like a culture. If you find even a small pin somewhere on there on the floor, etc., that's also a cost they're picking up. So they know exactly cost consciousness. So that is imbibed in them as a culture. In Indigo, team building to be, that is again a culture there. Effective team building, ownership. So what I'm trying to say is that organizations, then they will identify what is the kind of a culture, what kind of a values we need to inculcate in our workforce or human capital. So that becomes one C for culture. Second, now, say for example, in supply management or procurement, I need certain competencies. I need to hire the right kind of people with the right kind of competencies. So competency becomes another C, the 2C. Okay, because higher the competency, better the delivery. So I will identify what kind of people I need to hire. I will source them. I will get the right kind of people, then give them training so that they are able to deliver. Then the third one is the cost. When I'm talking about the cost, I'm not talking about the raw materials cost. Okay, that's the business guide. I'm talking about the cost of my manpower. In terms of I'm going to look at, hey, where am I going to spend cost? 5 or 10% of my critical strategic positions. Somebody said, no, we also logistics distribution. So at what cost will I hire them? The rest of them at what? So compensation becomes key. So to hire the right kind of people, what kind of people are required, and therefore at what percentiles, that is at what market salaries will I hire them? So that means culture, cost. We talked about cost and productivity. Then we talked about competency. We talked about competencies. Another C I'm talking about is the capital. That is the human capital readiness, which is the focus on training. What kind of trainings I need to give, constantly? Like, for example, the sourcing people, do I need to give them some higher trainings? They could be technical training, they could be behavioral training. I want to change a behavior. So what kind of a training I need to give? Okay. Then in terms of this is the value I want to develop in them, teamwork, should I give a training? So I call it as 4 C's: the culture, the competency, the cost, and the human capital readiness. So once we have identified, can we actually then have targets and measures and indicators so that I can actually measure to the extent I have achieved the targets? Is it possible or not possible? Again. So first of all, what have I spoken about from the learn and growth perspective? What are the 4 C's we need to take into consideration? Guys? Culture,
Culture, competency,
cost,
and capital.
competency, human capital, readiness. Yeah. So having identified, now I want you to go back. In fact, Prashant has done a little more already on this. I want you to visit your own story, the same story, and now build the learning and growth perspective where right from, what kind of people will you source, what kind of training will you give, what kind of culture will you say, at least 2 or 3 identify, and then say, how will you also evaluate? What kind of evaluation, when I say, what kind of measures will you put? What kind of targets will you? For the same story you have written, for the same balance scorecard where you have tried to create, so that now I can actually connect the performance drivers, which is actually what learning and growth perspective and the internal business perspective, to the lag indicators, that is increasing customer share or bringing in more returns from the financial perspective.
Ma'am, we are group 4.
Yeah.
Since our main value proposition is the customized product and customer relation management, We are a furniture company.
This is, you are delivering that quality at reasonable cost, some amount of customized furniture, right?
Yes, yes,
Huh?
ma'am. Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
all right.
So
Yeah.
the main important thing for us is first the customers, and the second is the vendors, because since we have to provide the customized product, so our relationship with the with the vendors is very crucial. So the first thing for to build a culture for this, we will do the training mandates for customer relation management to our employees, and it will be increase. So we'll increase the training mandates for customer relation management by 10%.
Okay. So you are saying that the focus definitely as a part of the culture, customer service orientation becomes really very, very critical across all levels for all our employees. So that will, so we will do it by training, right?
Yes,
Huh?
yes, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So customer
build
service
that-
orientation training will be a focus for all your front level people at different degrees depending on the need base. Okay.
Yes. And second is the delivery time. We are since our focus is also to reduce the delivery time, so we'll do the mandates for this TQ and Six Sigma training to reduce the wastage, as well as to for operational efficiency, better operational efficiency.
Right.
So at
So
least 3
A,
days.
cost consciousness, huh? Because you
Yes,
are
yes.
saying no, low cost and cost consciousness, and at the same time to ensure that timely delivery. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, the third is the vendor development programs. These are carpenters are our vendors, and we have to satisfy them. That's our main priority. So we'll be doing the vendor development programs training for our employees, and this
So
will
competency will be negotiation skills, vendor
Yes.
management, and all that. Okay.
Yeah, and this we will measure by the feedback ratings.
Yeah. Yeah. Then regarding cost, so human capital, in terms of, some 5 or 10% of your critical positions might be very critical in terms of procurement guys, supply chain management guys. You need real specialists. So maybe you will, you will hire them at a higher cost possibly, but getting the best hire, the right hire.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Then we'll be decreasing the cost by employee retention.
Mandate stigma. So, yeah. So to help you all with it, so for example, so now you know that if you focus on these things, you are able to deliver, you are able to ensure that whatever you have promised to your customer in terms of low cost, customizable solutions in terms of furniture, okay? And with timely delivery, you are able to deliver all these things. Okay. Now you can actually create a hypothesis saying that if I increase my training in customer service orientation, does my customer satisfaction index go up? You can create a hypothesis, right?
Yes.
And then see, you can have customer satisfaction NPL score या कोई सा भी survey, you can have a tool, technique, feedback from them, and then validate that if I'm giving training, does it reflect, translate into a outcome of what? Higher satisfaction. Are you with me?
Or we can measure it by the customer
that is a
complaints
hypothesis.
also.
You don't know, no? You are just creating a hypothesis.
Yes.
But when will it get confirmed? When you see and when you take data and check it, then you will get to know that yes. So what do we do here? When by doing regression, if I increase so much, my satisfaction index will grow so much.
Yes.
You are able to quantify. That's how you are able to connect with analytically drawing insights. Okay. In this example, we were looking at what they're saying. What is the business about? Business is about delivering. What kind of products? Low cost, customizable, and quick delivery. Do it yourself.
Yes.
Furniture. Okay.
Right.
Now, if you want to deliver this, that is what you are promising to your customers. Why should your customers come to you in this furniture shop? Because you are giving all this. Okay. Now, in order to deliver this, what will you do in your internal business processes? You have to have good supply chain management, right? You have to have
Right.
good customer management processes, right?
Right.
You have to
Right.
have good quality controls, right?
Right.
Huh? So these are some of the things internally when you look at. Now, in order to do this, then you need to have human capital that is in your learning and growth. In terms of culture, customer orientation, customer
Right.
service orientation. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, just to give that elaborate, say for example, you are doing training to all your people as a saying that, hey, customer, we are in this, customer service orientation is very must. My people should be very aware of, the customer's needs and be polite and all the etiquette like a Starbucks do. Now
Right.
you say, okay, by giving this training, is my score of customer satisfaction going up?
Hmm.
Okay, that's one aspect. That's one aspect.
Hmm.
Now, that is it translating into again revenue?
Hmm.
Are you getting me? So that
Right.
means I can establish that if I increase by one score, my customer service orientation, or if I have customer satisfaction index going back by 1, that means it can get translated into so many units of revenue. Are you there with me?
Yes.
So I can actually do a regression saying that, hey, that means if I increase this so much, I can actually predict that so much revenue will come.
Right.
Got it? So I'm linking, okay, the
Yeah.
HR culture to the business outcome. This is the insight I'm drawing. Are you with
Sure.
me?
Sure.
So I just give an
Yes.
example because of the time. Oh yeah,
Thank
I can
you.
see one more group, guys. Yeah, yes. So you are saying you must have your frontline guy trained in what product knowledge, right? Ashutosh? No,
Yeah.
no. Ashutosh only.
G,
Yeah.
G, ma'am.
You getting me? Your frontline guy has to be trained in what?
Yeah.
Product knowledge. Apart from customer
Product
service
knowledge,
orientation.
then there has to be, we are into hospitality, food and hospitality,
And
so we
also
have a training.
multilingual training, absolutely multilingual, because what happens is then your ability to talk in the similar language of the customer. So when you are saying multilingual language, then you are saying, hey, you'll get a special incentive. No? Skill-based pay. Additional language, additional. Of course, you will set up a process for it, because if I say I know French, so there must be a way to testify that I know French, and so there will be those standard set and certification. But yes, you can also have some skill-based base here. Okay, excellent. In technology, data management through customer software preference. Okay, no. Oh my God. No number of visits made in a month, feedback rating given. Okay. So all this is CRM, guys. No? You are saying feedback ratings also, you are establishing a CRM there to get feedback. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Then next is, what is it?
Then hospitality management and booking.
What is this?
Just
Tell me.
to train the staff on new stuff, introducing new cuisine.
Okay. So typically this is in
And
the
then-
production. Can I say, if you are saying introducing new cuisine means, that means production, no?
That's true, ma'am. But for that, we need to train the existing staff.
Okay. So you are saying training your chefs or training, Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Trainings.
And then incentivizing the cooks, the chefs, based on the customer reviews.
Okay. Excellent. Improvising. All right. Very good. Okay. So they're also going to get performance incentives based on customer reviews. Okay. This is for their performance management. The way they are cooking. So it is reviewed. So based on the customer's reviews, they get some incentives, which will actually motivate them to do better and also ensure that they're bringing in more variety and innovation in their cooking. Right?
G.
Okay. Excellent, guys.
4 C's. So I start with culture. One is ownership. How people take ownership. So how do we do that? So probably rewarding the right behavior and incentivizing, which is in line with the values which you want. Rewarding in terms of money or in terms of non-monetary also. It's basically just reinforce those behaviors the moment
So
you see it.
developing that culture of ownership and doing it right for the first time. So that
Yeah.
could be more through some nice continuous trainings as well. And of course, leadership by example as well. Yeah.
Yeah, if I come late myself, then I should not be. I
So,
mean, if I reward somebody else who is coming on time, being punctual, but I
absolutely.
myself am late, people will accept it, but the culture will not be,
Okay.
reinforced.
Okay. So because
I-
yours is a company which is actually into sourcing, yes, definitely. I think here you can't have supervisory level and so it has to be almost doing.
yeah, because
I
we are
mean, you
hiring
have to be
entry level
accountable
guys.
and taking a lot of ownership for everything you do. All
Yeah,
right.
so want everyone to become leaders, and I want to
So
be
here,
delegating things, and tomorrow I want to enjoy. So I
yeah.
don't want to do all
So
the.
so when you do ownership, there is also something called training a lot for their job training, etc. You can take, people are not wanting to take ownership because there is a gap between what you need to do and
Skills.
what kind of skills you have. There's a will, of course. So
Yeah.
therefore, it will be, supplemented by a lot of training. Okay. Yeah. Product training, etc. Okay.
Right, ma'am.
Next.
So cost is higher entry level people and train them to control costs. Negotiate with database providers for multiple logins, bonus discounts, laptops and Wi-Fi, etc. Buy in bulk to get higher discounts. This is the minimum.
So here there'll be a lot more technological because everything will be because you're reducing the headcount and mostly using a lot of technology, right? Yeah.
A lot of technology means database for resumes. So that's all. We are hardly using any other infrastructure
not
except
much of tech. Oh, okay. Okay.
laptop, Wi-Fi, and database.
Got
Maybe
it. Okay.
that's all. So we
So
not
minimum
much,
whatever is required. All
the
right.
headcount cost is high. That's only we can reduce and basically prepare a compensation plan with more pay on performance linked incentives. So competencies is sourcing time. How to reduce that? Sorry, Shiv.
So entire this recruitment funnel which you have written here, so it all depends on again training. So how you have trained them with the product because they will be looking at different databases, different industries. So they need a lot of. So you might be looking for IT, you might be looking for certain technologies. So they will need to be. This is that recruitment funnel yield, right?
Yes, ma'am. So competencies, the basic ones, that sourcing time, yield, quality, submission to selection ratio.
These are the metrics.
Back out to higher ratio, communication skills and negotiation skills with
and
candidates.
You can have target and then you can have what is the percentage to be met. All right.
Now the human capital part, which is I'm out developing the entire human capital. So training on IT skills, interviewing, negotiation skills, databases, how to use them, how to quickly source resumes from say LinkedIn or from Naukri, different databases. ChatGPT also helps TCS. So behavioral training to identify patterns and traits and culture of customer organization. If the target organization where I'm placing the guy, if I understand their culture, their needs more, if they are a US based MNC, they might need a person with maybe.
So this is like know your customer, KYC.
Yeah. Identify, and this is a very long thing. You can't do it in one day to identify the customer's culture.
Yeah.
It's about
so
identifying
it's a
patterns and
constant thing.
traits.
Constant because customers keep coming in, changing, etc.
So
okay.
You can just train them for a day or two that, okay, these are the some traits, some patterns which you may look out for in the customer organization. And then decide, identifying the final business need of the customer. If say there is a project which is going to end in 6 months, the person won't hire a costly guy. If the project is going to.
So Prashant, what I would say more of, if I look at all this, you can bucket them into, they get into competency building, right? they get into which will also like competency building is almost like training. So you can say what are those competencies and what kind of training will you give to
Yeah, they are
enhance their
technical
knowledge,
competencies,
skills,
I would
and
say.
behavior.
Technical
Okay.
competencies.
So some might be technical competencies, some might be just behavioral competencies when it comes to
Yeah, so
and
behavioral
some
training.
might be skill-based competencies. Okay.
Yes. So now this is something
Yeah.
which is, you can learn through coaching on the job.
Identifying the final business need of the customer. Okay, you can do. So need identification, etc. More from the sales perspective, sales and marketing perspective, right?
Yeah, I mean, not really, but say if I am a recruiter and I know that the customer has only 3 months of project left and the current guy has gone, he needs the backfill. He cannot wait for 3 months of notice period because the project will be over by then. He won't hire a very costly resource because the project is going to end. Unlike there's a new project which is starting and is going to go for 3 years, definitely they will hire a quality resource and they will give you time. So if your need is known, the need is known.
So again, this is understanding, the customer's needs and also from the perspective of, not just surface level customers' needs, but understanding the entire nitty-gritty in detail.
Yeah, every
breadth
order
and
that you
and all
get,
that
what is the
stuff.
need?
Yeah, business needs. So you can put it as knowing your customer also in that. This
Again.
can also come into that bucket if you see,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Because customers will be at various stages also, no?
Yeah, it's like, I enter into a Starbucks and I want to have something sweet. They may offer me a brownie along with the coffee. So it depends. Another time of the day, another day, maybe I don't want to have something sweet. So it depends on different kinds of,
So
on the
in
job
fact, the
also.
Starbucks frontline people are trained in such a way. So if
Yeah.
you notice, they don't just serve or immediately make a billing. They will first take off time and spend time with you, understanding you.
Yes.
Right? They
And
will say,
the best example is
hi,
Subway.
rapport building is there. They won't
Yes.
consider it a waste of time. Hai. They will create a rapport so that I get a nice feeling. Oh, ma'am, how was your, very often when taking flights and oh, ma'am, how was your flight? I hope it was comfortable, etc. They'll strike a chord and then they will start talking to you.
Yeah.
Knowing interest. Yeah.
Same with Subway guys, and even Delhi ka Golgappa wala also does that. Chaat wala, meetha do, dada do, khata do, tikha do. So
Exactly.
that,
Exactly.
so
True.
that is relationship building skills, which I mentioned in
Okay.
the next step, compassion and teamwork. Now, how do we develop it it's all behavioral.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Fine. Incentive plan and evaluation sheets evaluation sheets is very vague and filling and reporting of success stories is just a processes. Okay. Processes.
This has to
Maybe
be elaborated and
taking
linked with
care of
direct.
feedback. This filling and reporting of success stories can also be a part of your customer feedback. What do you do? How do you do? What is the less, right? That can be
Yes.
an entire, you can link it up with the customer itself, right?
Customer feedback, NPS.
Yeah. All this
Even
because they got
failures
to know,
also,
no,
what went
constant
wrong.
feedback, give them that, and then let them know then what they need to improve,
So
etc.
this is, you can also call it as a part of knowledge management or best practice sharing. Like some recruiter did a fantastic job and is
So
successful.
it depends knowledge management whether because your organization, your enterprise is such that everybody will be owning it up. So probably yes, you can do a knowledgement kind of a thing. Okay, guys, good. So I think overall everybody has done a good job. Now,
I think
can you just
I need to convert it into quantifiable metrics so that it can be drilled down to every person, and that's the purpose of balanced scorecard. That's the I think
strategy map, connecting the lead indicators with the lag indicators, drawing business insights so that you are able to create a hypothesis, and then to validate that hypothesis, collect data so that you know for sure that yes, there exists a relationship, and then you can really work on the HR front so that you can show business outcomes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Perfect.
All right,
I will
guys.
remember this statement of yours.
Okay. So guys, Well, I think that was the one, actually balanced scorecard and strategy map is a huge thing. I tried to really squeeze in so much and make it really very simple. I hope all of you have been able to understand the concept and also derive the meaning and the usefulness of it. Okay. So with this, we close this session.